Here, a short overview. In 2024, Global Communicator took you on a journey unlike any other. Through the voices of locals from Iran, Mexico, Indonesia, Peru, Botswana, Serbia, Romania, Colombia, Bulgaria, Sweden and Jamaica, we uncovered the stories behind the headlines and explored the world through the eyes of those who truly know it best. From secret spots to travel tips, insights on safety, and the charm of each country's unique culture, language and tradition, this year was all about connecting with the heart of each destination. So now, let's revisit the incredible highlights and experiences of 2024 told by the people who called these places home. Welcome to the podcast Global Communicator. Don't believe tourists, we ask the locals. Global Communicator, the podcast.
Snow is falling all around us. Welcome to the last episode of this season of Global Communicator. Today we are in a very special episode, and as you can see, there is no bad weather for any podcast. I'm standing here with minus 15 degrees up at the Botswana today. I would say mostly the worst weather which is possible to make the last podcast, but I'm trying to summarize all our episodes of this season. And today I have a very special guest which is arriving now, hopefully. So welcome. Who are you actually?
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation. I'm Sarah, and today we're doing a little twist for the last episode of your third season. And today I will ask you some questions about your highlights and about what you've learned maybe from your guests.
Okay, thanks for that. So I'm curious what your question will be, and I try to be very surprised that you ask me now.
Yeah, I'm also very excited. Maybe to start off, you tell again our listeners where we are and why we chose this special location.
We are up at the mountain directly next to Innsbruck. That's the Botswana, and I'm living down there, and that's actually one of my favorite places. To be honest, it's not the best ski area, but it's representing Austrian ski areas, and I love skiing, so that's why I decided to make the summarize episode here up on the Botswana. And yeah, well, it's snowing, cool, but it's very cold, so I hope you don't have too many questions.
Well, we will see. I'll try to. Well, maybe to start off, let your listeners know where you get to know all your guests.
Well, that's a very good question. Mostly it started with friends of mine, and nowadays I already get some requests from other people, from listeners. So listeners, thanks to you guys that you always send me some requests for interview partner, and also some listeners have been already interview partner.
Okay, so to take a look back on this season, on the last episodes, what was your highlight?
Well, my highlight definitely was Iran, one of the last episodes, because it was crazy to hear and to see how honest Nassim have been, and I really enjoyed that. And well, that's more the most impressive highlight, and I would say the funniest podcast was definitely Jamaica. That was just amazing, and a lot of funny jokes. And yeah, listeners, if you didn't check out Jamaica or Iran yet, you definitely have to check out these two episodes.
Did you also, let's say, learn something new? What you didn't know before, or something which was surprising for you?
Yeah, for sure. Botswana is a podcast and was an episode with a lot of surprises for me. I didn't know Botswana very well. I know there are a lot of animals, but I didn't know all the diamond history and how Botswana geared such a lot of healthy economic, and also the problem with the elephants that they offered Germany to send 20,000 elephants to them because they have so many elephants and a big of troubles with them. So, well, definitely a lot of learnings, but every season has 12 episodes, so every month is one episode. The first one is already 12 months ago, so hard to remember all the facts, but definitely a lot of learnings. And there was also a live podcast at the trade fair in Innsbruck, which was amazing, with Bulgaria. Also one of my highlights, and many things to recover. And honestly, even for me, it's a big point that I learn a lot of things. I learn many facts about nations and countries, and also how locals think about Austrians and so on. And that's really, it's not just a podcast. If it's successful or not, it's also a learning for me. So it's definitely a life school.
A very nice saying, and it sounds like a really exciting season. So also to your listeners, you already gave some hints, so they could really listen to the last season before the next season starts. Maybe can you also tell your listeners, did you get to know a country through your interviews which you really want to visit?
Yeah, definitely. I was in the lucky position to meet a Colombian guy in Miami, and he told me a lot about his festivals there in Colombia and about traditional things in Colombia, and I am very curious how that will be. So I'm a traditional guy. I love Austrian traditions, and I would definitely want to check out Colombia ones and their life, because there was such a cool interview with him, because Alex is such a happy person, and if you just spend 5 minutes with him, you're already happy. It doesn't matter how bad your day have been already, and if all the Colombians are like that, I would have an amazing holiday there. So definitely Colombia is on my bucket list.
Great, sounds great. So maybe looking forward to your next season, the next episodes, can you already give a hint what listeners are expecting?
Well, it will start with a really famous person. Many people know him from Instagram, and he makes very funny videos. So,
you can be curious.
Be curious. It will be a very funny and great first episode, and also afterwards we have a lot of highlights. And I'm still searching for a few new episodes, few partners. So listeners, if you have anyone in mind, any nation which I didn't interview yet, please just send me a message via Instagram or just comment it here under our podcast, and I'm always happy to get any suggestions, because we are already now over 36 seasons, so it's getting harder and harder to find someone to interview in person. So maybe I'm thinking to make also now interviews via webcams, but so far I'm trying to still stick with personal interviews.
And also to show the surrounding, right?
Exactly, like now, today, so it's getting less, and it's probably better to see in the camera where we are.
Perfect. So to come to an end, as we know, you always ask your interview partners to tell people some insights of their country, and maybe you can also tell the listeners, as they are from all over the world, some insights of Austria or Tyrol. Do you have some inside tips, maybe some spots they really have to visit, or some things they have to keep in mind if they come here to Austria?
Well, you make my job already better than I do, so if you stick like that, you probably take my job over. I hope that's not going to be the case.
No, never.
Well, we actually spoke about in advance that we don't have too many minutes for this podcast. So for this question, I would need at least a half an hour.
So maybe just your highlights, 1 or 2 highlights.
My highlight, which you definitely have to check out in Tyrol, is definitely one of our ski areas. We have few ski areas, very famous ones like St. Anton, Ischgl and so on. But secret spot will be definitely Hochzeiger in Pitztal, which is my local resort, and I love that. So that's my secret spot. And highlights, check out the traditions, like any Zeltfest, how we call them. They're amazing, and get to know the locals, because there is one thing which we are very special for. We don't make clear decisions. We always make like, yeah, let's see, make it this or that, and we always have the last word. That's a big thing here in Austria. So, well, that's a very short summarize, but I would have so many things more to tell. So maybe we should make a podcast just for that. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as you told me, the Austrians always have the last word, as I'm Austrian too. Yes, I can agree, and I will let you speak the last word.
Well, listeners, thanks a lot for this amazing season. You helped me to gain more than 150,000 views, which is a big step. And, well, that's not just an achievement which I and we made in our team. It's mostly because of you. Thanks, guys, for all your listenings, for your likes and all the comments. And, well, stay tuned. We have a lot of more episodes coming up. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hey! Thanks for listening. And if you like the podcast, please share it and like it. I'm happy for any comment. And follow us on Instagram or on any listening app. I'm happy to hear from you and hopefully see you soon in the next episode. Bye bye!